You feel it, don't you? That low hum of anxiety that follows you through the day. It's the first thing you greet in the morning and the last thing you say goodnight to. You've been told it's just a part of modern life, the price of ambition and connection. A constant state of alert is what keeps you safe, what keeps you prepared for anything the world might throw at you. This is the story we tell ourselves to make sense of the unease. So you try to control everything. Your schedule is planned down to the minute. Your finances are tracked on a dozen different apps. Your diet is optimized for peak performance. You believe that if you can just build a perfect, orderly fortress around your life, you can keep the chaos out. You think that if every single variable is accounted for, then that feeling of dread, that persistent tightness in your chest, will finally have no reason to exist. You chase external solutions for this internal problem. You scroll through social media, seeking validation through likes and positive comments, hoping each notification will be a small dose of reassurance. You work longer hours, believing a promotion or a bigger salary will finally be the key that unlocks a state of lasting peace. You are convinced that the answer to your anxiety must lie somewhere out there, in the world of things, achievements, and the approval of other people. This is the common lie we all accept. My anxiety comes from the world outside. It's my job, my bills, the political climate, that awkward conversation I had yesterday. We see our minds as simple mirrors, reflecting the chaos of the external world. If the world is stressful, we must be stressed. If the world is frightening, we must be frightened. It's a simple and seemingly logical explanation for why we feel the way we do. This belief offers a strange kind of comfort. It's not your fault, after all. You're just a victim of circumstance, a small boat tossed on a wild and stormy sea. It absolves you of responsibility. If the problem is out there, then you are helpless to do anything but react. You can blame the storm for your fear, you can blame the waves for your struggle, and you can wait for the weather to change, hoping one day it will finally be calm. The ancient philosopher Seneca would look at this picture and shake his head. He would see our frantic attempts to control the uncontrollable and see the very source of our suffering. He understood that this constant battle with the outside world is not the path to peace, but a guaranteed recipe for perpetual anxiety. He knew that the real problem was not the storm itself, but where we have chosen to stand while we watch it. But his wisdom is not our first instinct. Our instinct is to build higher walls. So you double down on your efforts. You work even harder to make more money, hoping it will be a shield. You curate your online presence more carefully, trying to project an image of perfect happiness. You try to please everyone around you, hoping their approval will silence the worried voice inside your own head. You are building your fortress, brick by painful brick. You treat your life like a machine that can be perfected. You follow all the rules, you check all the boxes, you believe that happiness is an equation to be solved, and anxiety is simply an error in the calculation. If you could just find the right formula, the right combination of wealth, health, and status, the machine would run smoothly and you would finally feel calm. You are a mechanic trying to fix a machine that was never broken. And for a moment, it almost seems to work. A project succeeds. Your bank account looks healthy. People say nice things about you. There is a brief, fleeting moment of quiet. The hum of anxiety fades, and you think, I've done it. I've finally figured it out. I have beaten it. You stand atop your fortress of control and look down at the world, feeling a fragile sense of victory, a temporary peace bought at a very high price. But the lie is a fragile one, and the peace it provides is built on sand, because you have based your entire sense of well-being on things that are, by their very nature, completely and utterly outside of your control. You have built your house on the shoreline, celebrating the low tide, completely forgetting that the ocean always comes back. And the tide is about to turn, bringing with it the first seeds of a much deeper, more important truth. Then, something unexpected happens. It always does. The stock market takes a dive. A client you worked hard to please leaves a negative review. A relationship you thought was stable suddenly feels uncertain. A project you poured your soul into fails. It's a small crack in the wall of your fortress, but it's enough. It's enough for the wind to start whistling through, reminding you how little you truly command. The outside world has failed to follow your script. And in that moment, the familiar hum of anxiety returns. But this time, it's louder, more insistent. All your efforts, all your planning and controlling have been for nothing. The feeling you tried so hard to escape is back, and it feels like a personal failure. You did everything right, you followed all the rules, and still, the chaos found a way in. This is the first moment of real doubt. You start to see the futility of it all. You are running on a treadmill, putting in enormous effort but staying in the exact same place. You exhaust yourself every day trying to keep the world in order, only to have it reset to chaos every morning. The feeling is no longer just anxiety, it's tinged with despair. The path you are on, the one society told you was the right one, doesn't seem to be leading anywhere peaceful. You wear a mask of confidence and success for the world, but it starts to feel heavy. Behind the smiling facade, you are more lost than ever. Each compliment feels hollow, because you know the truth of the turmoil inside. The mask you've crafted to protect yourself now feels like a cage, separating you from any chance of authentic connection or genuine peace. It is becoming harder and harder to hold it in place. Seneca would ask a simple question here. Is it the event itself that is causing you this pain, or is it your judgment about the event? Think about it. The stock market fell, that is a fact, but the story you tell yourself, this is a catastrophe, I'm ruined, my future is over. Is that a fact, or is it a choice? This is the first crack of light, the first hint that the source of the problem might be closer to home than you think. Your mind starts to race, imagining the worst-case scenarios. You don't just worry about the email you have to send tomorrow. You worry about the reply, the meeting that will follow, the project that might fail because of it, the job you might lose, and the desolate future that will result. You are not living in the present moment. You are living in 1,000 potential, terrifying futures that exist only inside your head. You look at others who seem calm and you feel a sense of envy and injustice. How can they be so peaceful when the world is so obviously a mess? You assume they must have a secret, some hidden wealth or perfect life that insulates them from the chaos you feel. You don't realize that they aren't immune to the storm. They have simply learned not to live in it. They have found a different kind of shelter. The more you fight the feeling of anxiety, the stronger it gets. By treating it as an enemy to be defeated, you give it power. You are in a wrestling match with your own mind, and it is a battle you can never win. Every ounce of energy you spend trying to suppress a thought or a feeling only makes it more persistent. The struggle itself becomes the main source of your exhaustion. You start to notice that the things you fear most rarely come to pass. How many hours have you wasted worrying about disasters that never happened? How much energy have you spent preparing for catastrophes that existed only in your imagination? You have paid a heavy price in sleepless nights and stolen joy for problems that were never real. The realization dawns that your greatest enemy might not be the world, but your own mind. And here, in this state of confusion and exhaustion, you are finally ready. You are ready to question the fundamental assumption you've built your life on. You are ready to consider that maybe, just maybe, the key to your anxiety isn't about changing the world, but about changing your mind. You are tired of fighting a war you can't win. You are ready for a new strategy, a new philosophy. You are ready for the truth. What if your anxiety is not a sign that something is wrong with you, but a sign that your current strategy is wrong? It's like a warning light on a car's dashboard. It's not the enemy, it's a messenger. It's trying to tell you something important. It's signaling that your desperate attempt to control every external detail is a failing mission. The anxiety is a symptom, not the disease. You have been trying to hold back the ocean with a broom. Every day you sweep the water away, and every day the tide comes back in. It is an endless, pointless, and soul-crushing task. But what if you were never meant to stop the tide? What if you were meant to learn how to build a boat, or even how to swim? The problem isn't the ocean. The problem is that you are using the wrong tool for the job. The systems you built for safety have become your prison. Your rigid schedule leaves no room for spontaneity or joy. Your obsession with your finances makes you afraid to spend money on things that matter. Your need for approval makes you afraid to be yourself. The very walls you built to protect you from the world are now preventing you from truly living in it. The fortress has become a cage. This is the turning point, the collapse of the old way of thinking, the moment of surrender. Not a surrender to despair, but a surrender of a failing strategy. It is the admission that your approach has not worked and will never work. It's a painful moment, full of uncertainty, but it is also the most hopeful moment of all. Because only when you admit that your map is wrong can you begin to look for a new one. So you ask the question in earnest. If my anxiety doesn't come from the world, where does it come from? If it's not my job, my money, or my relationships, then what is it? You are turning your gaze away from the horizon and for the first time, looking deep inside. You are shifting the focus of your investigation from the external to the internal. This is the beginning of the journey inward, the only journey that truly matters. Consider two people facing the exact same event, being fired from a job. One person sees it as a catastrophe, a judgment on their worth, and falls into a spiral of anxiety. The other sees it as an opportunity, a chance to find a better path, and feels a sense of freedom. The event was the same. The only difference was the story they told themselves about it. The power was not in the event, but in the interpretation. The lie you believed was that your feelings are a direct result of external events, but now you see the hidden step in between. First, there is the event. Second, there is your judgment or opinion about the event. Third, there is your feeling. You have been trying to control the first step, the event, which is impossible. The real power, the real point of control, lies in that hidden second step. You have been living life like a puppet, believing your strings were being pulled by the world. You felt happy when the world gave you good things, and you felt anxious when the world threatened to take them away. You saw yourself as passive, a recipient of fortune, good or bad. But the truth is far more radical and far more empowering. The strings don't lead to the world. They lead back to your own hands. This realization is frightening because it gives you immense responsibility. If your anxiety is a product of your own judgments, then you can no longer blame the world. You can no longer play the victim. The power to change how you feel rests with you. This is a heavy burden, but it is also the key to your liberation. You are not a helpless passenger. You are and always have been the pilot. You are standing at the precipice of the core revelation. The common lie has been exposed. Your frantic attempts to control the external have only amplified your inner turmoil. You now understand that the problem is not the storm, but your reaction to the storm. You are ready to hear the simple, profound, and life-altering truth that Seneca and the Stoics discovered over 2,000 years ago. A truth that will change everything. Here is the real reason you are always anxious. It is the core truth from Seneca, and it is this: we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Your anxiety is not born from what is happening right now. It is born from your fears of what might happen tomorrow, next week, or next year. You are being tormented not by reality, but by the terrifying ghosts and monsters created by your own mind. Reality is often manageable. The difficult conversation is rarely as bad as you imagined. The failure is something you can recover from. The loss is painful, but you endure. Reality is the small fire in the middle of the room. It has heat, it can burn you, but it is contained. Your anxiety, however, is the giant, terrifying shadow that this small fire casts on the walls. You have been staring at the shadow, not the fire. The solution, then, is to learn to separate what is real from what is imagined, to distinguish between the actual event and the story you add on top of it. Seneca advises us to strip events of our dramatic judgments. You lost your job is a fact. My life is over is a story. I have a difficult task ahead is a fact. I will definitely fail is a story. Your freedom lies in your ability to see that difference. This leads to the most powerful tool in the Stoic arsenal, the dichotomy of control. It is the simple practice of dividing everything in life into two categories: things you can control and things you cannot. You cannot control the weather, the economy, or what other people think of you. You can control your thoughts, your judgments, your actions, and your will. Your anxiety comes from trying to control what you can't. Your peace comes from focusing on what you can. Imagine your mind is a fortress. Seneca called this the inner citadel. The outside world can lay siege to it. Storms can rage, armies can attack, insults and misfortunes can be hurled against your walls. But they can never, ever breach the gates unless you let them. Your judgments are the gatekeepers. If you choose not to see an event as harmful, then it cannot harm the core of who you are. When you feel anxiety creeping in, you must act as a guard at the gate of your mind. You must challenge every thought that wants to enter. Ask it, are you based on fact or on a fearful story? Are you about something I can control or something I cannot? If the thought is a fearful story about something you cannot control, you simply deny it entry. You do not fight it. You just observe it and let it pass by. This is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about understanding their origin. It's not about becoming a robot with no feelings. It's about becoming a wise gardener who knows the difference between a nourishing plant and a destructive weed. You don't let the weeds of catastrophic thinking take over the garden of your mind. You acknowledge them, and then you calmly pull them out, creating space for better things to grow. Think of your anxious thoughts as clouds passing in the sky. Before, you used to chase after every dark storm cloud, believing you were the cloud. You would get swept up in its wind and rain. Now you learn to sit on the ground and simply watch the clouds go by. You are the sky, not the cloud. The clouds come and go, but the vast open sky of your awareness remains untouched, calm and present. The real antidote to anxiety is not wishful thinking or positive affirmations. It is a sober, realistic assessment of what is truly within your power. It is focusing your energy like a laser beam on your own choices, your own character, and your own responses. Everything else is, in a way, none of your business. This is a radical simplification of life. It is the subtraction of the unnecessary, the imagined, and the uncontrollable. This is the great aha moment. The reason you are anxious is because you have been living your life as if you are the star of a play, but you have given the script to everyone else. You react to their lines, you are moved by their actions, you are hurt by their criticism. The Stoic revelation is that you are the writer, the director, and the star. You write your own responses. You are in charge of your own character. Embracing this truth means you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "How will I choose to respond to this?" The first question leads to a feeling of victimhood and powerlessness. The second question is a declaration of your own agency and strength. It transforms every challenge from a threat into an opportunity to practice courage, patience, and wisdom. This is the shift from a passive life to an active one. True wealth is not having a lot of money, it's wanting little. True power is not controlling others, it's mastering yourself. True happiness is not found in a life free of problems. It's found in knowing you have the strength to handle any problem that comes your way. Your anxiety was rooted in a deep misunderstanding of what it means to live a good life. The revelation is that the good life is an inside job. So the storm rages on. The world remains chaotic and unpredictable. Nothing on the outside has changed, but everything within you has. You have discovered that the anchor you were looking for was not in some safe harbor, but inside you all along. You realize that freedom is not the absence of a storm, but the ability to remain calm and centered in the middle of it. You finally understand that the goal is not to eliminate fear, but to act in spite of it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the judgment that something else is more important than fear. In your case, that something else is your own peace of mind, your integrity, and your freedom. You stop trying to make the fear go away and instead focus on doing the right thing, even with fear as your companion. This is the ultimate power, the power to choose your response in any given situation. It is a power that no one can ever take from you. They can take your job, your money, your reputation, even your freedom. But they can never force you to think a certain way. They can never control your inner citadel unless you give them the key. This inner freedom is the only kind that truly matters. You stop seeing anxiety as a malfunction. You see it for what it is, the natural byproduct of a mind that is focused on the wrong things. It is the friction that comes from resisting reality. It is the alarm that sounds when you are trying to control what you cannot. By focusing only on your own actions and judgments, you remove the friction. The alarm falls silent, not because it is broken, but because there is no longer a fire. The world is a river. You have been trying to stand still in the middle of it, fighting the current, and this has made you anxious and exhausted. The revelation is that you are supposed to flow with it, to accept its twists and turns. Your job is not to direct the river, but to steer your own boat with skill and virtue. You work with reality, not against it. You have been a thirsty person, surrounded by water, complaining about your thirst. You were looking for something to drink from the external world, hoping for a cup of validation or a bottle of security. The truth is that you are the well. The source of peace and tranquility is within you. You just need to learn how to draw from it. The anxiety was a thirst caused by looking in the wrong direction. This is not a one-time fix. It is a lifelong practice. It is a daily commitment to guarding your mind, questioning your judgments, and focusing on what you can control. There will be days when you forget. There will be times when you get swept away by the storm again. But now you have a compass. You have a map that shows you the way back to your inner citadel, your place of peace. The great lie was that your peace depended on the world. The great truth is that the world's peace depends on you. Not in changing the world, but in changing yourself. By cultivating your own inner peace, you bring a little more sanity, a little more calm into the world around you. Your transformation is not just for you. It is your gift to everyone you interact with. You become the quiet in the storm. Now comes the hard part, the path of transformation. Knowing the truth is one thing, living it is another. This new path is not easy. It requires constant awareness and daily practice. It is a path of subtraction, of letting go of the need for approval, letting go of your fear of the future, and letting go of your desire to control what was never yours to command in the first place. Compare two roads. One is a wide, paved, crowded highway. Everyone is traveling on it. It seems easy and fast, but it leads to a gray, uniform city of anxiety and quiet desperation. The other road is a narrow, winding, and solitary mountain trail. It is difficult to climb, but it leads to a sunlit peak with a view of the whole world, a place of profound peace and freedom. Which path will you choose? This path can be lonely. When you stop obsessing over the things that most people chase, status, trivial dramas, external validation, you may find you have less in common with them. People may not understand why you are no longer worried about the things they are worried about. They might mistake your newfound calm for apathy. You must be prepared to walk this path alone at times, finding strength in your own convictions. The daily practice is simple, but not easy. In the morning, you remind yourself of what is and is not in your control. Throughout the day, when you feel anxiety arise, you pause. You question the judgment that is causing it. In the evening, you reflect on your day, not on what happened, but on how you responded. It is the slow, patient work of retraining your mind, one thought at a time. You will start to see challenges not as obstacles, but as training. A difficult coworker is an opportunity to practice patience. A financial setback is an opportunity to practice resilience and value what truly matters. An insult from another person is an opportunity to practice indifference to opinions outside your control. Life stops being a series of threats and becomes a gymnasium for your soul, a place to build your inner strength. You learn to love fate, not in a passive, resigned way, but in an active, joyful way. You trust that whatever happens, you have the inner resources to handle it. You don't wish for life to be easier, you work on becoming stronger. You embrace the whole of life, the smooth and the rough, knowing that both are necessary for your growth. This is amor fati, the love of one's fate, the ultimate expression of inner peace. The freedom you gain is incredible. You are no longer a slave to the next headline, the next market fluctuation, or the next judgmental comment. You have an inner stability that the world cannot shake. You can participate fully in life, you can love deeply and work hard, but your core well-being is no longer attached to the outcome. It is attached only to your own character and your own choices. You find that you have more energy. The immense amount of mental and emotional power you used to spend on worry and imagined futures is now available for the present moment. You can focus more deeply on your work. You can be more present with your loved ones. You can enjoy the simple beauty of the world around you. You have reclaimed the energy that anxiety was stealing from you every single day. This doesn't mean you won't feel sadness or grief or pain when bad things happen. These are natural human emotions. The difference is that you no longer add a second layer of suffering on top of them. You don't add the anxiety of "this shouldn't be happening" or the fear of "I won't be able to handle this." You feel the initial pain, cleanly and without judgment, and then you move on to your response. This journey is about becoming a warrior of the mind, not a warrior who fights the world, but one who achieves self-mastery. Your battlefield is your own thoughts. Your victory is inner peace. This is a battle that is fought not with aggression, but with wisdom, not with resistance, but with acceptance, not with control, but with letting go. And it is the most important battle you will ever fight. You will fail. You will have days where you are anxious from morning until night. You will get hooked by your thoughts and dragged into old patterns. The point is not to achieve perfection. The point is to keep practicing, to keep coming back to the truth, to forgive yourself for your lapses, and to gently guide your attention back to your inner citadel. The path is the practice, and the practice is the path. You will start to feel a deep sense of gratitude, not just for the good things, but for the challenges too. You will see that your past anxieties, your past struggles, were the very things that forced you to seek this deeper truth. The poison became the medicine. Your greatest weakness, your anxiety, became the catalyst for discovering your greatest strength, your resilient, untouchable, and truly free inner self. The person who started this journey, the one who was drowning in worry and desperately trying to control the world, seems like a stranger to you now. You have compassion for that person, but you are no longer them. You have been reforged in the fires of self-reflection. You have built something inside you that is stronger than any external circumstance. You have, in essence, saved yourself. This transformation radiates outward. Your calm becomes a source of strength for others. Your lack of reactivity in a crisis gives people hope. Your focus on what truly matters inspires those around you. You don't have to preach this philosophy, you just have to live it. Your life becomes the lesson. You teach peace simply by being peaceful. The final stage of the path is integration. It is when the practice is no longer a conscious effort, but has become your default state. It is who you are. You no longer need to constantly remind yourself of the principles, because they have become the lens through which you see the world. You don't just visit your inner citadel, you live there. It is your permanent home. So now we bring it back to you, right here, right now. You have seen the journey from the lie to the truth. You have seen the path from being a puppet of the world to the master of your own mind. The lie is that your anxiety is caused by what happens to you. The truth is that it is caused by your story about what happens to you. This understanding is the key. You have always had this key. It has been with you through every sleepless night and every anxious day. You just didn't know what it was, or what lock it was meant to open. You tried to use it on the wrong doors. The door to more money, more approval, more control. But the key was never meant for an external lock. It was always meant for the door to your own mind. Your life will not magically become free of problems. There will still be storms, there will still be losses, setbacks, and pain. The promise of this philosophy is not a life without winter. The promise is the ability to find warmth and shelter within yourself, no matter how cold it gets outside. It is the promise of an unbreakable inner peace, a resilience that no storm can wash away. This is your inheritance as a human being. This power of judgment, this inner citadel, is the gift of your rational mind. You have the ability to step back from the raw data of the world and choose your interpretation. You are not a mindless reactor, you are a conscious responder. This is your superpower. Your anxiety has been obscuring it, but it has been there all along, waiting for you to claim it. So start small. The next time you feel that familiar knot of anxiety, just pause. Don't fight it, don't run from it, just observe it. And ask the question, what story am I telling myself right now? Is it true? Is it in my control? This simple act of questioning is the first step in taking back your power. It is the first brick in the foundation of your inner fortress. You have been at war with reality, and reality always wins. It's time to sign a peace treaty. This treaty is called acceptance. It is the acceptance that you cannot control the world, but you can always control yourself. It is the end of the most stressful, pointless war in human history. The war between your expectations and the way things actually are. It is the beginning of peace. The transformed person at the end of this journey is you. Not a new you, but the real you, the one that has been buried under layers of fear and false belief. This is a return to your natural state, a state of inner calm, strength, and freedom. The journey is not about becoming someone else. It is about unbecoming everything that isn't truly you, so that your authentic self can finally emerge. Look out at the world. It will still seem chaotic. The news will still be full of turmoil. People will still be unpredictable. But you will see it with new eyes. You will see it as the weather, something to be navigated and respected, but not something to be internalized. You have found the eye of the hurricane. You can now walk through the storm without becoming the storm. The real reason you are always anxious is that you have been looking for peace in all the wrong places. You have been searching for it in the external world, a place it can never exist. It is like searching for the sun in a deep cave. The profound, life-changing secret is that you are the sun. Your peace, your light, your warmth comes from within. You just need to stop hiding it. So let this be the moment. The moment you stop being a leaf blown about by the wind and start being the mountain that the wind blows against. The leaf is a victim of the weather. The mountain uses the weather to shape its own magnificent character. It stands firm, not through resistance, but through its sheer, solid presence. Be the mountain. Your journey starts now, with your next thought. Will you let it be another imagined catastrophe, or will you challenge it? Will you let it be another judgment about something you can't control? Or will you focus on your own response? The choice is yours. In every single moment, the choice to build your prison or to walk out into the field of freedom is yours, and yours alone. The ancient wisdom of Seneca is not a relic of the past. It is a timeless, practical guide for navigating the chaos of the human condition. It is a call to reclaim the power that you have always possessed but have been taught to ignore. It is the ultimate life hack, discovered 2,000 years ago, waiting for you to rediscover it for yourself and claim the peace that is your birthright. We have been told that anxiety is the price of a meaningful life. Seneca would say this is the greatest lie of all. Anxiety is the price of a misguided life. A meaningful life is not one filled with frantic worry, but one filled with virtuous action, resilience, and a deep, unshakable inner peace that comes from mastering oneself. Meaning and peace are not enemies, they are two sides of the same coin. The next time the storm comes, and it will, remember what you have learned. Remember the difference between the small fire and the giant shadow. Remember your inner citadel. Remember the dichotomy of control. Stand at the gate of your mind, and be a vigilant, wise guard. You are the protector of your own peace. It is the most important job you will ever have. The world outside will always be a storm of uncertainty. That will never change. But you have a choice. You can choose to stand outside, letting the winds of chaos toss you about, suffering from things that have not happened and may never happen. Or you can choose to retreat into the calm, quiet, and unconquerable fortress of your own mind. The storm is outside. Where will you choose to live?